Hello students, welcome to the e-learning platform presented by Mechanical Engineering Department of Dr. Bapuji Saloke Institute of Engineering and Technology, Kolhapur. The learning objectives for today's session are study of vapor compression cycle. Number 1, study of vapor compression cycle. Vapor compression cycle generally used is for refrigeration effect will be studied in today's session. Second, study of types of vapor compression cycle. Different types of vapor compression cycle will also be studied in today's session. Starting with first simple vapor compression system or the compression cycle, vapor compression cycle. A question related to this has been asked in previous examination of regarding explain working of vapor compression system with neat sketch, draw neat sketch of vapor compression and refrigeration cycle, describe it working as so on. Figure below shows block diagram of a simple vapor compression cycle. Let us understand the working of the simple vapor compression cycle. The wet vapor, fairly dry vapor, leaves the evaporator and enters the compressor at point 1. The wet vapor from the evaporator leaves and enters into compressor at point 1. This low pressure, low temperature vapor refrigerant is compressed isentropically to point 2. During compression, the pressure and temperature increases. The temperature at point 2 should be greater than temperature of the condenser cooling medium. The vapor at the end of compression is dry saturated or superheated and enters into the condenser. The vapor is condensed in the condenser and hence change of phase takes place, that is latent heat of condensation is removed by the cooling medium. High pressure saturated liquid refrigerant leaves condenser and enters the expansion valve at point 3. The expansion of high pressure saturated liquid refrigerant pass through a narrow opening of expansion valve from point 3 to 4. The function of expansion valve is to throttle the liquid refrigerant from high pressure, high temperature to low pressure, low temperature, keeping the enthalpy constant. At point 4, wet vapor enters the evaporator where it absorbs the latent heat of evaporation and further evaporate, then change of phase takes place producing the refrigerating effect. The refrigerant thus leaving the evaporator is fairly dry again will enter into compressor at point 1. This completes the vapor compression cycle. Components of vapor compression cycle. First, compressor. Compressor acts as a heart of refrigeration system. The low pressure and temperature fairly dry vapor refrigerant from evaporator is sucked by compressor through suction valve and is compressed to high pressure and high temperature so that it should be easily discharged to the condenser through the discharge valve. Second, condenser. Condenser, it is a fin and tube type or shell and tube type in which high pressure and high temperature vapor refrigerant is cooled and condensed at a saturation temperature corresponding to pressure in the condenser by cooling medium. Here, can refrigerant change the phase from vapor to liquid by rejecting latent heat. Third, receiver. Receiver acts as a storage to store condensed refrigerator from condenser and it is supplied to evaporator through the expansion valve or throttle valve. It is located between the condenser and the expansion valve. Fourth, expansion valve. It acts as a throttling device. The function of valve is to control the mass flow rate of the refrigerant of the liquid refrigerant of high pressure and high temperature by reducing pressure and temperature while passing the liquid refrigerant. The throttling process is irreversible process. It is located between evaporator and receiver. Fifth, evaporator. It is also called as freezer. It is coil tube type in which the liquid refrigerant at low pressure and temperature is evaporated by absorbing heat from the cooling substance and change the phase from liquid to vapor by absorbing the latent heat. Next, dryer strainer. The function of strainer is to absorb moisture and remove impurities from the refrigerating system. It is tubular metal container located between condenser and evaporator. And last, accumulator. Accumulator, it is a large cylindrical shell which trap the liquid refrigerant droplet and avoid the entry of liquid droplet to compressor which may damage the compressor. It is located between the evaporator and the compressor. Next is types of vapor compression cycle. There are many cycles used to increase the COP, that is coefficient of performance of the cycle. Some of them are discussed below over here. First, cycle with a dry saturated vapor before compression, that is vapor entering the compressor is dry saturated. The pH and TS diagram for simple vapor compression refrigeration cycle is shown in figure below for vapor entering the compressor in a dry saturated condition. The dry saturated vapor entering the compressor at point 1, that vapor compresses isentropically from 1 to 2, which increases the pressure from evaporator pressure to condenser pressure. That is, from 1 to 2 the dry saturated vapor is compressed again, and which increases the pressure from 1 to 2. At point 2, the superheated vapor enters the condenser where heat is rejected at constant pressure. Due to rejection of heat decreases the temperature and change of phase takes place, that is latent heat is removed and reaches to liquid saturation temperature at point 3. Then this liquid refrigerant passes from expansion valve where liquid refrigerant is throttled, keeping the enthalpy constant and reducing the pressure. Figure for vapor compression system. When vapor entering the compressor is dry and saturated is shown. This wet vapor passes through the evaporator at point 4 where it absorbs the latent heat and convert it into saturated vapor, and the cycle is completed. The refrigerating effect is given by Mr into H1 minus H4, where H1 and H4 are enthalpies, and compressor work is given by Mr into H2 minus H1, where H2 and H1 are also against the enthalpy of an cycle cycle. The coefficient of performance can be given by refrigerating effect upon compressor work. Hence, it is given as COP is equal to H1 minus H4 upon H2 minus H1. The next type of vapor compression cycle is when vapor entering the compressor is wet and dry at the end of compression. That is, the vapor entering the compressor is half wet and half dry at the end of compression. From figure shown below, the pH and TS diagram for the vapor entering the compressor is wet and dry at the end of compression. Process 1 to 2 is isentropic compression. Process 2 to 3 is condensation or rejection, heat rejection. Process 3 to 4 is expansion, and process 4 to 1 is evaporation. Here, considering the dryness fraction and in wet compression, the vapor contains some liquid particle of refrigerant. After compression, it become dry saturated. Wet compression is not desired because liquid droplet in the refrigerant enters the compressor and may damage the compressor moving parts and valve. Also, the liquid droplet mixed with lubricating oil and pass to condenser can decrease the heat transfer rate from refrigerant to cooling medium. The third type of vapor compression cycle is superheating. The pH and TS diagram of simple vapor compression refrigeration cycle with superheating is shown in figure below. Superheating of the suction vapor of compressor is advisable in practice because it increases the life of compressor. It is that we have to superheat the vapor coming entering into the compressor. In this cycle, the evaporation starts at point 4 and continues up to point 1 dash when it is dry saturated. The vapor is now superheated and entering the compressor at the point 1 by passing vapor through the superheater. In this cycle, the heat is absorbed in two stages. Firstly, from point 4 to 1 dash, and secondly, from point 1 to 1 dash. The effect of superheating increases the specific volume of suction due to decreased capacity of system. That is, the volume of the vapor increases. It also increases the refrigerating effect from H1 dash minus H4 to H1 H4. It increases the specific work of compressor, that is H2, that is from H2 minus H1 to H2 dash minus H1. It should be noted that H2 dash minus H1 dash is greater than the H2 minus H1. This is because the pressure ratio is same for both lines, but temperature T1 dash is greater than the T1. It may be noted that superheating outside the evaporator or cold space results in loss. Superheating increases the refrigerating effect and amount of work supplied to compressor. Since increasing in refrigerating effect is less as compared to increase in work supplied, with net effect of superheating is to reduce COP. The superheat of about 5 degrees Celsius generally used in suction superheat to avoid wet compression. The COP is again found out with the same formula. COP is equal to refrigerating effect upon work done. The last type of vapor compression cycle, subcooling. The pH and TS diagram of simple vapor compression refrigeration system with subcooling is shown in figure below. Subcooling, it is a process where liquid refrigerant is cooled below saturation temperature corresponding to pressure before throttle. It is possible to reduce the temperature of liquid refrigerant by few degree after the condensation by installing subcooler between condenser and expansion valve. The condensed refrigerant passes through subcooler where cooling water temperature is lower than that used in condenser. The 3 to 3 dash and 4 to 4 dash is where the subcooling take place or where the subcooler is used. In figure shows subcooling of liquid refrigerant from T3 dash to T3 below saturation temperature. From TS diagram, it shows that the subcooling reduces the flashing of liquid during the expansion in throttle valve and increases the refrigerating effect, also reduce piston displacement and power per turn. As the mass flow rate of refrigerant is less, the volume of vapor handled by compressor is less. Although work of compressor does not change with subcooling, the COP is improved as refrigerating effect is higher. As mass flow rate per ton of refrigerant is also less, subcooling is achieved by two methods. One using subcooler piped in series or parallel with condenser, or by using liquid suction heat exchanger. Subcooling improves the condenser performance by increasing its efficiency. The ultimate effect of undercooling or subcooling is to increase the value of COP, that is coefficient of performance, under the same set of condition which is achieved. Thank you. In today's session, we have completed simple vapor compression cycle and the types of simple vapor compression cycle and the components used in simple vapor compression cycle. Thank you. The questions related to the types of simple vapor compression cycle and simple vapor compression cycle are always been asked in MSBT examination, previous MSBT examinations. Please prepare for it. Thank you.